Hello everyone, I'm Dave Walker, and today I'm going to do a CTF walkthrough of GamingServer. Now, GamingServer is described as an easy boot root box for beginners on the TryHackMe platform. And that being said, let's have a look at it. So we can see here the difficulty is rated easy. Quite a lot of people have already done this, so we're certainly not going to be the first to do this, but let's see how we get on. So let's copy the IP address and let's let's create a workspace. I've got a script here for creating a workspace called new CTF. All this really does is create a new folder and in there just throw some stuff. And let's have a look at what that's done. So let's jump into GamingServer and we can see here that as soon as I went in there, a .env RC file got loaded. Now this is using dir env. Let's have a quick look at dir env. So dir env is a tool for managing a .profile. So if we actually have a look at what that does, we've got this .env, cat.env. So we can see that we're exporting two environmental variables, box and IP with the name here. And actually I've got tmux set up to actually read it here, we can see here. So if I actually jump out the location here, we can see it's disappeared. And if I do echo $IP, we don't see the IP address. But as soon as I jump into GamingServer and then do echo IP, so it's really useful, particularly if the engagement has persistent IP addresses, which TryHackMe doesn't offer, I'm afraid, for this. But it's still useful nonetheless because I don't need to worry about the IP address and getting it wrong and things like that. Providing I'm in the right folder and I just use $IP, I'm going to have the right IP address. So that's really useful. Okay, so let's actually start our enumeration. So I'm actually going to use nmap to do some enumeration. And what I'll do is I'll just start running it and then we'll talk about what options we've got. So we've got -p, so we'll assume the host is online. We don't need nmap to inspect it for us. -st, only look at TCP. If we exhaust all of our assessment with TCP, then we'll look at UDP afterwards. -sv, let's get nmap to grab the version, look at banners and things like that. Run the default scripts that run with nmap to actually look for anything which jumps out of it. -p-. Now this dash here, this is a shortcut to say I want to search all 65,535 ports available. -OA, output in all formats, which is going to output in our reports folder in a file called after the IP address, and then our target is this variable we've used here. So it's actually already finished, and if we have a look here, we can see in reports we've got the three formats that we talked about, right? So that's really useful. So first things first, let's start trying to log this. So I've part of this new script. What that did is it also added this boilerplate template here. Now I've got another script here, which is something which someone else wrote, and to actually output the report as markdown, which is really useful for throwing into your report. So let's just copy that, throw it into the report. Hey, look at that. Right, now also let's get a preview of this whilst we're working. Control Shift V, that's right. Oh, actually, I should have done that. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, so we can see here that we've started logging it here. So we've got two services here. Looking at the version strings, this is quite a new version of SSH. So I don't think we're going to find a SSH vulnerability with this. So I think we can put that to one side. But we've learned that it's using Ubuntu, which is good. And we've also got port 80 here, which is standard HTTP on 2429. So let's have a look at that. Let's hit that into the browser. All right. Oh, it's trying to convert it from Latin. Okay. That's because it's got this lorem ipsum. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. We've got this website here. Don't know what we're going to find with this. But let's see what else we can find. What we should be doing is always trying to use some enumeration, some automatic enumeration whilst we're looking at stuff manually. So let's kick off some fuzzing. My favorite fuzzing tool at the moment is actually ffuf. Now what that stands for is fuzz faster, you fool. So it's similar to to Go busters, but they're both written in Go. And I'm reliably informed that the A team use this as well. But yeah, so it's really easy to install. And actually, the primary author behind it is really welcoming to patches as well. Yeah, so let's get that running. So we want to run ffuf-u, and then we put the URL in. We can use $IP here, and then /fuzz. What this means is this is the bit that ffuf will actually replace in the URL. Now, the word list will use the standard common.txt, which ships as part of sec lists. We'll add -c because we want a little bit of color, because everyone wants a bit of color in their life. Recursion, so if it finds a redirect or a folder in the URL, it will automatically jump in there. Output format all, and actually that was one of the patches I wrote to actually be able to output in all formats at the same time. And we'll do the same as what we did with nmap. We'll go to reports and we'll call it this, and that will just output that. So let's get that kicking off here. Because this is good. Basically, what that's going to do is it's going to do automatic fuzzing, because what we mean by that is it will basically hit all these different URLs and see what it can find. Whereas if we were to use spidering, what that would be doing is it would just be trying to dig into all these links here and try and find all the links that jump out to basically build a map of what the website of what the web server is, because that's what this is doing, just by hitting all these different addresses to see whether it returns anything fruitful. But actually, that's interesting. We should take a note of that. In fact, I might even, because we've got here, John, please add some actual content to the site. Lorem ipsum is horrible to look at. Yeah, right, it is. So let's actually take a screenshot of that, because I think that's going to be useful to us. So we'll take a copy of that, and let's highlight that, and copy. And then we'll just add this to the bottom, and then we'll work out where it goes. We know that's going to be useful to us, so we'll save that in there. Perfect. So that was under there. Right. So let's have a look at what we found by fuzzing here. So .ht access. Okay, so this isn't uncommon, right? So we're seeing permission denied on these 403. Now, why we're seeing that is because Ubuntu does ship with the Apache to block access by default. So these might not even exist, just the web service intercepting that request and automatically blocking it straight out. So that's, I think, a false positive, actually. I doubt either of these exist. Okay, index, yep, that's the page we found. Robots.txt. Okay, that's interesting. Let's have a look at that. Ah, okay, that's interesting. Let's take another screenshot of that. Let's try that again with including the URL this time. There we go. Okay, so that's really interesting. So it's told us that this here exists. So it's a bit of a disclosure information here. So let's copy that. We'll put that in the report as well. Okay, that's useful. But what is uploads? Okay, so we've got a okay, dictionary list. That's definitely going to be useful to us. So let's copy that. We'll make a note of that on here, and we'll get that to here as well. Right. Okay. Right. So this is just like a dictionary list. We've got a hint that the username could be John, and we've got this dictionary list here. What else do we have here? We've got the Hacker Manifesto. Oh yeah, I remember when I was a young man, this was particularly insightful, actually, because this was me all over. I would well recommend reading this. It's probably a bit dated now, but it was definitely useful back in the day. Meme. Okay, we've got a strange picture here. Relatively 15K. There could be something hidden in that. We could be looking at some stenography, but we're starting to get harder there. So let's keep it simple. Okay, so we download a dictionary. We've got a username, or what we could be a username. So let's give that a go. So let's just do some brute forcing with that. We can use Hydra. I hate Hydra just because the syntax always confuses me. But anyway, my login name is John. My password list is going to be dictionary.list, which is what we just downloaded. $IP. I have 4 threads, and it's an SSH service we want to attack. So let's hit that and see whether that gives us anything. Let's call this hydra, this window, just so we can leave that, and we'll see what we get on with that. Right, so is that going to give us anything that we want? Okay. Oh, there was also something else in that fuzzing, wasn't there? In fact, I might... and that's actually one of the other interesting things we should look at, actually, is in the reporting, part of the fuzzing does give you actually a website we can look at as well, which is another way of looking at it, which is really interesting. Right, yeah, so this is interesting. So this has given us a couple of things here. So let's take a screenshot of that as well, just because I think that's useful. Let's copy that and we'll paste that in there. Bang, that looks good to me. Right, so there's also uploads. What's that? Okay. Oh no, it wasn't uploads, it was secret, wasn't it? Yeah, there was secret key. What have we got? Okay, so this looks like an SSH secret key. Let's grab that as well. And we'll also take a note of that because that's an interesting URL. In fact, let's just see. Yeah, PEM RSA secret key. Yeah, so this is almost certainly a secret key. Okay, so how's Hydra doing? Okay, so that's still another few minutes left. So we'll leave that to run. Although I'm kind of getting the feeling now that that's not going to be the way in. But maybe this is the root key. Who knows, right? Now you actually have to change the permissions of this, because if we actually have a look at the permissions of this secret key, we can see that it's world writable. World writable and world readable as well. So I actually have to change the permissions of this, because if I don't, and if I just run, I'll call SSH, tell it to use the secret key identity file, username John at the IP address, press enter, it will tell me that it's the permissions are bad, so it won't even try to use it. So let's change the permissions of that, chmod 600 secret key, and we'll run that again. Okay, so the SSH private key also has a passphrase attached to it. That's really annoying. We've got a dictionary file. Let's see whether the dictionary file can actually is one of the passphrases. Right, so how do we do this? Right, so too many Johns. So John is a tool we can use for this, but we need to change the key to a format that John can actually take. So we've got this script here: user share John sh to john.py secret key, and what does that output? Okay, yeah, so that outputs a format that John can actually accept. So let's output that, and we'll call it ssh.john. All right. So now let's actually run John against that using the dictionary we downloaded and see whether that gives us anything. Just before we do it, let's check on Hydra. Hydra is still smashing it through. Right, so now let's run John on this, and we'll run it with the word list that we just downloaded, which was that long one, this one here. And we'll run it against that file that we've just created with SSH to John. Okay, so that's running. Oh, it's already cracked it. Okay, perfect. Let's take a screenshot of that. Bang. And we will highlight the secret key, copy that, and then we'll put that in here. Perfect. Okay, right, so now let's try that SSH again, and this time we'll add the passphrase. We're in. Okay, so let's cancel Hydra because we know that's not what we want. Interestingly, it's saved a restore file, so we could resume it if we wanted to, but I don't think on this occasion we'll need to. Okay, so we are in. So we've actually got user access with here, which is really good. And what we should see, there we go, user.txt. Okay, so we've got the flag. So let's copy that. We'll put it into here, user flag. Yay! Whoop, whoop, your answer is correct. Okay, so now we need to get root. Okay, right. So how are we going to do this? So let's use enum, which is a tool I love using for this kind of stuff. It will just do some automatic Linux enumeration for us. Let's download that. Raw. There we go. Let's download. Of course, we don't have internet access on here, which is really annoying, but that's fine. Let's grab that. Now I need to copy it to the server, so let's do that. So let's do scp linenum to John at $IP, and we'll save it in the home location. Oh, I need to give it the identity file as well, don't I? Of course. Secret key, there we go, and it was let me in. Okay, so that's copied it. Right, so now we're in here. Right, so let's chmod make it executable, and we'll run it, see what we get. Okay, anything interesting? Yeah, so we're running 1804. Released in 2018, and in April it's the LTS version, and we see that it's the 0.4 point release. So it's relatively new. We're not going to see anything interesting there. So the ID and GID is 1000. That's the standard for the first user created. What's in the sudo group? Oh, okay. I might have. Okay, hang on. So let's just see what this user can do. Okay. So that's really annoying. So I can't run sudo because I don't know John's password. That is really annoying. I guess I could try and see whether he's reused the password from the dictionary and just see whether I can do that. But you know, I don't think that's going to be the way in. Could be. Okay, so what else? Anything else interesting there? Let's just go back to the beginning. Come on, Dave. Okay, unattended upgrades, no. But so unattended upgrades will do automatic patching if this machine's got internet access, which it doesn't. Let's just make that big. I'm not seeing anything too useful. This script might have let me down today. It is interesting that I'm seeing LXD here. Now, LXD, LXC is a technology really driven by Ubuntu, particularly when I was there. I used to work there. Yeah, similar kind of technology to Docker, using C groups, namespaces, and things like that. Okay, so we've got tmux and screen here, but I don't think the permissions are set for that to be a breakout. No. Okay. The only thing that jumped out at me is the LXC stuff. Now there is similar to Docker, it's quite hard to actually tie down well. So let's have a look to see whether there's anything that is going to be useful in that regard for us. bin. So this is a list of ways for us to be able to break out using Linux binaries. So what do we have here? LXC. Oh, LXD. No. Okay, it's not showing us. But there is a... okay. There was something I came across. Hang on. Yeah. So this is something I came across. Now, basically, I found this just through searching. Okay, so because the trouble is I don't have internet access on the machine, so I could set up like a squid proxy or something like that, but that's just going to be a pain in the bum. I can just build it on my local machine and then upload it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use LXC to actually get access to the root file system, and then from there we can get code execution as well. Okay, so I need to install some tools on the local machine. So let's install these tools here. Okay, now we've got this distro builder here. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is going to help us build an image that we can use to exploit. Okay, so let's download that using Go. Okay, so let's jump into here. Make. Ah. Wow, lots of stuff to download, eh? See, it's really annoying because if the instance that we're actually using under TryHackMe did have internet access, this would be blazing fast just to download this stuff from the internet. Although, probably better not to taint the machine anyway. Okay, so that's built that. That's good. So we run that. So let's make this dir here. We'll jump into there. And what's this? Let's just have a quick look at that. Okay, fine. So this is the YAML, the actual manifest for the actual thing that we want to run. Okay, so let's download that. And then, so we're going to run the distro builder tool to build the LXD image of Alpine. Now, Alpine is the minimal Linux image that's often used in Docker as well. I'm surprised it needs a sudo. I wonder what happens if I run it without sudo. Oh, okay, fine. Well, it's a binary, so there's no point looking at it, but okay. What do you mean bad Alpine release? What does that even mean? Well, that's really annoying. I mean, so is it saying that it doesn't like the version number from here? I mean, it looks all right. I mean, Okay. So where was the error download bad Alpine release? What the hell does that even mean? Okay, well, at least other people have known about it. It says it's closed. Our version was using 3.12. Hey, Stefan. Okay. The release key in the image track would likely get you past. Oh my word. Okay, so let's just try 3.8 then. Oh, okay. So as a practical example, okay, fine. Let's try that. No. Let's just try. Wow, this is annoying. Same as 3.8. Okay. So I need to put that under the image. Okay, there we go. I wonder whether that works with 3.12 as 3.12 as well. Yeah, it does. Okay, fine. Yeah, so the other thing he says is that okay, so the instruction on that page there isn't as complete as we'd like. So if we just go back to the original, hang on, so let's just try that. So if I take out this here and add the, there we go. So let's try that. Oh, I didn't copy the full line. Equals 3.8. Huh. What? Oh, there we go. So that works as well. Although actually I want 3.12. Oh, okay. Getting a right mess here. Okay, fine. So we've built that now. So the fix is that we had to add this here onto the command line as well. So there we go. Okay. So we should probably take a note of this. And I'll also add that and what was the, let's just add that into our notes. Perfect. Okay. Right. Then upload the, okay, so we've got two files here. So let's just SCP all of them to, so hang on, SCP, so let's upload everything to John at $IP into the home directory. Oh, so this has backfired because I'm not in the right location. Let's just copy the IP from there. And the hint was that it wasn't there, but fine. I'll live with that. Okay. And also the secret key's not there. Oh, that's so annoying. So really I should have just built this image in the right folder structure and then it would have just worked, right? Okay, so that's uploading. Okay, so bang, there we go. Okay, so let's copy that. Okay, imported, that's good. And we should see the image here. There we go, perfect. Okay, so we've got the vulnerable image uploaded. Okay, create a container and add the root path. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add the root path as a mount point within the actual Alpine image. LXC list. Okay, so we've got this machine called Privesc. Okay, so it's going to use it's going to pass the root file system from our host system as a mount point within there. So let's do that now. It's the exact same breakouts you can do with Docker. So let's actually start the machine. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, and then we'll start a shell in there. Okay, so we're root within the actual system at the moment. Okay, great. So that's, so if we see that now, I'm not root on the host system, but I do have root access now to the actual host file system. It's been passed into this image. Yep, so if we just go into root here. Oh, what am I doing? Mount root cd root. There we go, that's better. There we go. Bang. Let's copy that, put it in there. Okay, that's good. But the thing is, I mean, what you often see on things like the OSCP and other assessments is they actually require you to have root access, root interactive access. So the fact that we're able to retrieve this file isn't actually enough. What we really want to do is be able to get root on the host system, a persistent access once this is gone. So we could do this a bunch of ways. We could do things like on our password, we could, we don't have Vim. Oh, that's really annoying. But what we could do is we could, our use, oh no, hang on. I keep adding that leading slash. Oh, hang on, there we go. Yeah, so what I could is I could change the UID for this John user. That would give us essential root access. I could add another user. I could also just set there to be no password on the sudoers. So let's do etc sudoers. Okay, so what we could do is we could just say no password. I always forget the syntax for this. No password. Yeah, so what I can do is I can just add this here. So I could just do echo username John. That we'll add to the box. We don't want to write over all of it. And oh, why do I keep adding that leading slash? That's so annoying. Etc sudoers. Okay, that looks good to me. Okay, so let's exit out of this. And then if I do sudo s, bang, I'm root. There we go. Okay, there we go. Perfect, easy. Okay, that's it. Thanks, everyone. Please do the whole YouTube thing, like, subscribe, and all that. And I'll leave any comments on any future boxes you think I should do. Thanks very much, everyone. Goodbye.